Good morning, beautiful people. Today we will be talking about the most common fears before attending an ayahuasca retreat. This is Francie, is the episode number 3 of Lessons from Sacred Plants. I am the ceremony guide at Mahanse retreats, where we do ayahuasca retreats. I have guided more than 250 people in the process of plant medicine work, and I also have done myself more than 150 ceremonies of ayahuasca. So I know from experience, from my own living, and also from guiding others, how to work with these plants. So stick if you want to know what are the most common fears and how to overcome them before your first ayahuasca experience. First, most people are afraid of the purge during an ayahuasca ceremony, but they don't really understand what it represents. So when you think about an ayahuasca ceremony, first thing that comes in mind for most of the people is the purging, this intensity. And I get it, I was also afraid of having this heavy thing on my stomach, but most people don't understand it's an emotional and physical release. So many traumas, emotions, like fears, are stuck in our organs, in our heart, many places in our belly. So what happens during ayahuasca, what I've seen from my own experience, is that the plant will go and start working on the places where you have most tension. So the fears probably are here on the top of the belly, and to release this, you need to take it out, you need to take the energy out. So when you have troubles in your life, when you have trauma, the plant will start taking this up from your subconscious, you will start working on it, and at some point you will just throw it out. When you purge, is not the same as a stomachache. The purging feels really as a release, and many times you even know energetically what is that you are releasing, what's coming out. So one beautiful exercise one friend of mine, a shaman, told me is, when you are in the experience, think about what is worrying you, the big problems that you have in your life, and make them small. So you will see they are not so big as you think. So make them smaller and smaller, put more things, more troubles, make them smaller and smaller. Then you will move them down through your belly, and at some point you will release. When you release all this weight, you will feel much lighter. So the purge is not something that is happening to you. Is something that happens through you, so the energy can get out. For me, after all of these ceremonies, even my way of standing has changed. Why? Because I don't have all these tensions inside of me anymore. Another thing many people fear is, what if after the ayahuasca retreat, I become somebody else? I become irrecognizable. What if I don't love my family anymore? What if I don't want to be a mother anymore or a father? What if I want to change my job? What if I want to move out of the country? It's very important to understand plant medicine is to align you with your essence, to align you with who you truly are. So plant medicine doesn't transform you in somebody different. It aligns you with who you truly are. The real love will never disappear. Your authentic relationships will not disappear. Your values will not change. But there's some things that you probably are already doubting. The things that you are doubting, the doubts are there for some reason. And sometimes we have not been able to make the decisions because we are doubting, but we are not sure. So what can happen is that if you are not really aligned with these things, ayahuasca will show it very clearly. After this, it will be very easy for you to put the boundaries and change what is needed. So one thing that is very important to understand is that knowing and feeling and being aligned doesn't make you impulsive. You will not change your life one day like that. And we don't recommend taking big decisions after a retreat until 1 month, 2 months. The only things that you will lose are the things that are not helping you anymore and what you need to let go. Then it's time to come back to your real life and apply these things. Another fear is the fear of entering a state of madness and never coming back to real life. So when we work with these plants, it's true that ego death can happen, but one thing is to lose control, the other thing is to become mad. They are not the same thing. These medicines are like a reset. So to have this reset, the mind needs to change the structure. To change the structure, you need to unbuild what has been built. So the things from your subconscious mind will come to your conscious mind, and there you can move some things. It's like cleaning a house that has not been cleaned for a while, opening the boxes you didn't want to open, and checking, okay, this is heavy, just throw it out. So during the experience, you can feel like you are in a void. You can feel you no longer are representing who you truly are, but this will be for a while, it will pass and you will come back. What will come up is things that are you, your own things, your own traumas, your own problems, also your own bliss, your own happiness. So the medicine will not create things that are not there. When ayahuasca is cooked properly, this means it has the vine and it has the chagro, then it will never make you mad. But you need to know what kind of brew are you taking, because it can be, there is some lineages that mix other plants that are very strong, and they are only meant to be taken by really experienced shamans. So make sure you are drinking ayahuasca and you are not drinking ayahuasca with something else, because that is really dangerous. And many of the stories of people that have lost their mind, it's because they have drank what they were not supposed to do. Also keep in mind that this is a sacred ceremony, so you should not do it alone or with guides that have not been trained. As long as you do it in a safe space, in a safe setting, everything is fine, so that you can go deep inside and you will come back and you will have more clarity. Last but not least, also, this is not for everybody. If you already have mental health problems, you need to really be careful when you drink this. But as long as you are healthy, you don't need to worry about becoming mad. It will not happen. Then there is the fear of reliving trauma, reliving this sadness or hard moments, especially from childhood, right? So it's very natural to have these fears. We don't want to go back to these places, but you are not a child anymore. So you have different tools, your mind is much bigger, and while you are on the experience, you have a different point of view. You are on a different perspective. In the past, you are not able to hold these emotions. So that was not weakness, it was just a way to adapt, to take these things and store them in the back of your mind. So remember, the experience doesn't invent anything new. Only things that are already in you, things that happen to you will come, so that you can recheck that, give a new meaning and understand it from a different perspective. This way you can heal your traumas, you can heal your wounds, and you will be able to talk about them in the future without shame. So now that you are an adult, you have more consciousness, you can hold better, and you can understand. But it's very difficult to access these things because they are back in our subconscious. We don't even remember some of these things. So this is why plant medicine is so helpful, because when these things come, we can hold it and we can see it from a different place. Another fear that many people have is, what if after my experience I am alone? Because people don't accept me anymore when I change. What if they don't understand me? What if I cannot relate with my partner anymore? My family didn't approve that I was doing this. They saw this as a drug. And I was scared of not being accepted anymore by my friends, by my family, by society. These things are not like so normalized or seen well, right? So before I went to the jungle, my father was telling me, don't do this, this is dangerous, you are taking drugs. But after I did it, I came back and I was much more responsible. I was much more loving. My life became more harmonious, so everything was working fine. And when he saw this, he started to accept it. He started to believe. Nowadays, even my mother, my brother, my sister, they have come to ceremonies and they all understand this. So it's not about explaining to everybody like this is what happens, but when you come and you change, then they become interested and they also want to have the experience. So in the relationships where things are healthy, where people love you, they will accept, they will understand. And you also need to let them have their own opinions. It's not that everybody has to agree with what you do, right? What will naturally happen also is that when you raise your consciousness, some people will not align with you anymore. So when this change happens, you will not be alone, but you will be with people that resonates more with you. Then there is the fear also of being manipulated. What if I am influenced during the ceremony? Like this cult thing, right? For me at the beginning, it was difficult to trust in the guides. I would have these questions popping like, I am in safe hands. Do they really want the best for me? Maybe they will try to control me, make me like change my mind. And this is completely normal. It's also wise to not trust everybody straight, because at the end there's also people that they are not really pure. They want to manipulate you for money, for control, for power, whatever. So I will give you a couple of red flags. It's very important that the people that are guiding you, they don't want to trap you. They want you to be free. In a well-held space, the guides will not tell you what you need to do. They will not tell you what you need to think. They will not say you need to behave like this. But they will guide you in a way where you can find your own answers. I see it as solving a puzzle. So in the jungle, the old shamans, they don't solve the puzzles for you. Because then what's the point? You need to get your own answers so that you can understand and you can learn and grow spiritually. So before going to the retreat, have this in mind, that you are not going there for others to tell you what to do. So the goal is not to depend on anyone, any medicine. The goal is so that we can align ourselves, so that we don't need none of these things, so that we are free. We are God, we are the divine, so we don't need anything from the outside. Another of the fears is, what if it doesn't work for me? What if I don't change? What if I don't have an experience? What if it doesn't work? Many people have this fear because they have already gone through many therapies, they have read a lot of books, they have seen a lot of podcasts, YouTube videos, they have all of this knowledge. But to change, we don't need knowledge, we need experience. For example, there is the concept of I believe in God. If you believe in God, you need to believe. But if you have experienced God, you know. You don't believe because you have the experience. The ceremonies are all about experiencing, releasing, but not mentally, not understanding. To really get the healing, we need to go to our subconscious mind and feel what's there. So when we are cleaning the room, our head, our emotions, we need to release. When we release, we need to feel. To feel, we need to be open. So it's, for many people, it doesn't happen at the first ceremony or at the second, because we need to surrender until we are able to feel. If you are not willing to feel anything because you are afraid, it's very normal that this happens. You will not get, like, we need to soften all of these like shells. So plant medicine is not like a magic stick where you will do abracadabra and you are healed. Not everybody is ready to do that so fast, so for many people it takes some more ceremonies than for other people. So for many people this is like a before and an after. And yes, the possibility of changing your life and seeing like a really deep change is very possible. But you need to be willing to accept and to go deep inside of your wounds so that you can clean and make your hands dirty. You need to be willing to go deep and do the work. Fear is not something bad, it's something that is normal. And when we have fear, it's because it's something important. What I want you to understand is that plant medicine can be something confronting. It can be a work that is a little bit hard. But if you are ready to receive the messages that God, the universe, creation has for you, you will be fine. This was week number 3 of Lessons from the Sacred Plants. Every week I am recording a video like this. In here you will see the video of last week that was about how to prepare for an ayahuasca experience. We have also created a test that you can do online to check how ready you are and on what part of this personal spiritual development journey you are. And if you want to join one of our retreats, you can find the link in the description. Or if you have any questions, I am always open for a video call. I hope this video was helpful and see you next week.